Previously on Breath of Fire.
We learned that long ago, a goddess of desire manipulated the Dragon Clan into fighting amongst themselves for her power. Chaos prevailed. But, just as things looked their worst, the goddess was sealed by 8 heroes using 6 keys. Now, the Dark Dragons are off to war again, hoping to unseal the wish-granting goddess for their own means. And one of their first targets? The Light Dragons. They had long ago sealed away their power and will be helpless against the onslaught. Your sister Sarah saves the clan by turning her people to stone and distracting the enemy general in battle. Her plan succeeds, but at great cost. When the petrification spell wears off, our hero emerges from the ruined building to begin his journey.
Welcome to a fine gaming experience, everyone. Now, before we continue, I just wanted to pause for a minute to show some of the concept art I couldn't last time. First up, let's get a look at our sister Sarah. Her name translated over from the original Japanese fairly well, where she was called Selah. Next is the general she fought, Jade. This guy was originally named Judas. Just keep that in mind as we see more of him down the line. And finally, a view at our plucky young heroes art. The Game Boy Advance version has different menu sprites, so there is a batch of concept art for that as well. Speaking of menus, let's go into that. First off is our inventory, where we can see that V potion we picked up. But what does it do? We can go over to the question mark for its description, where we see it raises vigor, and using it gives a +1 boost. Following that is our equip screen. While there's nothing to equip at the moment, we can see he's set up with some pretty basic stuff. Next up is magic, of which we have none. We don't even start out with action points. But this will change soon enough. Our stat screen is pretty easy to understand. The middle is our base stats, while the top is how they are affected after gear. At first glance, he's a decent fighter, though he can be a bit slow, with some potential for magic once he actually gets some. Next is your basic front row, back row shift, followed by changing party members when we get them. Finally, we can go back into our options. You can see I changed my X and Y just for convenience. While not much of the town is left, there's still 2 shops available. We can buy, sell, and describe things at the item shop. Marble 3 stops random battles. Herbs heal. Antidote cures poison. Teardrops cure zombie. Yep, zombie status. Apples are just an overpriced healing item, really. Life revives. I like the text on it. And cure is another heal item. I'm going to play it safe and grab 9 herbs and 2 antidotes. Now the equipment shop. Here we're given the trade-in option. But let's see how good that dirk we have is. It's weak but light and one-handed. Now the saber, which was a machete in Japan, only has 3 more attack power than it. That hairband and silk gown aren't hero gear, though. Maybe that means our next character isn't too far off? Aw, kisses goodbye. Thank you, sir. Looks like some fish down in the water there. Alright, first fight of the game. The sword has individual options. There's auto battle, running, our full stat screen, and change rows and characters. Standard fight, defend, magic, item options. So let's swing at this Bulla, which was originally Bill Bull, likely an homage to an enemy in Capcom's Final Fight. Many enemies have their own concept art. I'll be showing off like that, though only on the first encounter type. A flea fight. Originally, this enemy was translated as Reaper, and fun fact, my test run had me killed by 3 of these in my very first fight, one step from the next town. And level 2. We'll get a nice stat boost across the board from that. Ooh, we've got a special opportunity here. Randomly, after fights, wild animals may appear, including this rare white deer. A later party member can hunt these animals, but not us. If we corner trap it just right, though, it'll panic and leave behind its prize, which is worth a bit. Despite everyone in town going on about Nanai, that's the town across the river that was occupied by the Dark Dragons. This is Camlon. I thought it might have been a Camelot reference, but its original name is Cantabel. I'll be adding that icon when we hit a new music track in the game. They'll be uploaded to my video playlist with new links on the Something Awful thread as well. Well, I was turned to stone while my village was destroyed. I think that qualifies me. What a first encounter to run into here. Glooms usually aren't too tough, but taking a Thunderbolt at level 2 can be really painful. Let's just heal up before we move along. Alright, a beak. Originally called the Gunhead, this has become one of the more iconic monsters across the series. And man, do they hit hard. Luckily, we gain another level from that. Plus, we have this convenient pond of clean water to heal up at. I'll just speed up this repeat fight. Ah, creeps. They were called mudmen in Japan, which would have fit within the character limits. Square certainly made some interesting translation decisions. You might recognize the name Keiji Inafune, who's famous for many character designs. He was initially brought on to help with Breath of Fire as well, but was moved to other projects early on. His replacement, Tatsuya Yoshikawa, was a respected associate of Keiji's and kept many of the original design features with his blessing. Yoshikawa would become Capcom's go-to for lead art director and character designer until the final game in this series. Each of these treasure rooms will have a small equipment upgrade for us. Except for one thing at the end, I quite like this for a starting dungeon. Nothing too gimmicky, lots of healing, and the layout is fairly castle-ish, but blocked by lots of rubble. Poison bugs are aptly named, and, like many old-school RPGs, poison is one of the worst status ailments. Not for the damage it does, but the effect every time you take a step. Let's stop that now. Oddly, the cape slows us down a lot compared to the robe. Lots of bones, especially around that chest. Probably trapped, so let's leave it. Turns out this one was trapped. Dark Mist taking all our AP isn't a big deal at all. Might as well check out the other chest then. And we have traps with positive effects on them. Time to go fight the big boss. Or tiny wee boss. Eru, very well then. Okay, so first boss of the game is a frog from Dragon Ball Z apparently. He's got 4 attacks, a tongue hit, and a phlegm ball that do about the same damage. His leap does the most, and he can heal for 10 damage rarely, but we won't see that. Yes, our hero can counter. It seems to like triggering on tougher opponents. This fight is pretty much an endurance test we'll win as long as we heal at about 15 hit points. This is an interesting gimmick for the game. All bosses have a second hidden health bar after dying once. Lots of experience means lots of levels. Here's the part I dislike. All the enemies are now gone, but we have to walk the long way out. Would have been fantastic just to pull a bit of rubble out of the way to make a straight line to the exit. Mention below if you'd rather I not speed up parts like this or some of the fights. Well, it looks like we have our next goal now. Go to Nanai and stop the Quake device. Thank you for watching, everyone, and I hope I'll see you all next time. I hate asking, but I'm a fairly new channel, so subscribe if you want to keep up to date on new videos, or check out my Twitter. Take care, all.